Breaking news on Iran. Incredible uncertainty as to what is going to unfold there. The US and UK moving troops out of bases near Iran as speculation grows of a potential US attack. Tehran has been accused of violently repressing anti-government protests. Overseas rights groups say that more than 2,000 people in Iran have been killed, and we don't have a full extent of what's happening because of that ongoing internet blackout. But the US President Donald Trump now says he believes the violence may have stopped. Let's go to our Asia correspondent, Stash Butler, who's monitoring this development for us. What evidence is there, Stash, that the US might be about to launch an attack?
Well, I think the biggest evidence, at the very least, that there's severe international concern about a potential attack is the closure by Iran of its airspace to most civilian traffic, except that's been authorized by Iran. Several Western countries, including the US, the UK, Italy, Poland, among others, have asked asked their citizens to leave Iran urgently. We also know that the US has reportedly closed its embassy in Tehran, and the UK has also asked travellers to limit travel to Israel. There's also been a notice by the US to limit travel to the Al Udeid airbase in Qatar, which is the airbase that has been reportedly evacuated, at least to some extent, by some US and UK personnel. Those are the signs that there is certainly the risk of some action. Iran had promised retaliation against US bases in the region if it were attacked. Donald Trump, though, seeming to have softened his tone about the ongoing protests and accusations of killings in Iran earlier today.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
No, we're going to watch and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
Now, while Iran and the world waits for what the US might do next, reports emerging from Iran about the ongoing protests, which have passed their 18th day now, remain limited, as you said, because of the internet blackout that's in place. You mentioned human rights group that's been monitoring protests. They say 2,600 people have been verified as killed, although they say on the 18th day no unrest was recorded, but they're unsure whether or not that's because of a lack of information or because the unrest has in fact stopped. Now, Iran's foreign minister says that the death toll has been exaggerated, but acknowledged hundreds of people killed. Iran and Tehran are blaming what they say are Western-backed terrorists, while Iranian judicial authorities stress the need for a strong response.
These individuals who have beheaded people or burned people in the streets. We must act quickly if we want to do anything. Even if we do the exact same thing, but in a couple of months, it will not have the same impact. If we do the same in 2 or 3 months, it will not be as effective.
Iran's foreign minister also told Fox News that hangings, executions of protesters were, in his words, out of the question.
Because President Trump has said that if there are killings, he would intervene. And they wanted to drag him into this conflict. And that was exactly an Israeli plot. They wanted to drag the President of the United States in this conflict. So they started to increase the number of deaths by killing ordinary people, by killing police officers.
And Stash, give us a sense of how countries outside the West are reacting to reports of a possible strike on Iran.
Well, Trudy, of the 5 permanent UN Security Council members, Russia has been the most outspoken in its criticism of the US amid these heightened tensions, saying that what it calls US threats against Iran are a sign of American weakness.
When such a powerful country like the US acts by these dirtier methods, it means only one thing. The US's competitive position is steadily worsening.
Now, meanwhile, China, which is the main buyer of Iranian oil and perhaps subject to that extra 25% tariff that was announced by Donald Trump recently on countries doing business with Iran, also reiterated its position that it opposes outside interference in Iranian affairs.
We support and hope that the Iranian government and people can overcome the current difficulties and maintain national stability. At the same time, we oppose external forces interfering in a country's internal affairs and do not approve of the use or threat of force in international relations.
Now, Iranian state TV continues to broadcast funerals of security personnel and protesters in Tehran and elsewhere. They insist that the country is under control, that the protests have stopped. Iran's foreign minister says authorities may announce a death toll from the unrest in the coming hours, but information, as we said, remains limited because of that ongoing internet blackout, Trudy.
Stash Butler with the latest there. Thank you.